Hey, 2022 is here, but 2021 was a year. We all came out of 2020 like, let's go, and then wow, trial. Like, and then when we thought it was going bad, God was like, wow, blessing, right? And so you had our fair share of trials and triumphs, and that taught us all a lot. I know it taught me a lot, and I'm going to be sharing some of that with you. Listen, I am a hip hop and spoken word artist. Now, by this time, most of my peers have shared their recap by showing the Spotify Wrapped, where it shows like how many millions of streams they had and how many people like been following them in different countries and all of that. I've shared that before. Probably will share that again in the future. But this time I want to do something more different. I want to give more of a complete picture of not just what went well this year, but what went not so well. What came as a surprise? What went like? How did I grow in business, and how did I grow personally? Because I had some stuff that happened there too. I know. Look at you. You just want to know. Can't wait to get the tea on me. I'm gonna share it though. I really, really am going to share it. And again, by the end of this video, I want to make sure that you have at least 2 nuggets from things that I've learned or stuff that was reinforced that you can take with you and run full steam ahead into 2022. All right. So I think that's fair enough. Now, before we get into it and I start talking about me, which I hope will help you, I want to make sure I give you something specifically. And this, what I'm giving, is for a specific group of people. That may be you. Listen in closely. Listen in. Independent artists. This is a perfect time for you to go ahead, top of the year, go ahead and get them files organized on your computer. Go ahead and get organized for real. Let's go ahead and structure your music-based business. It's time for you to get some systems. It's time for you to get like, y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, I know how it is to be an artist, and sometimes your thoughts can be like all over the place. You got all this going on. You want to attract a team, but you don't listen. It's hard to attract a team when you do not have structure, when you have a hobby and not a business. And so let's move from hobby, let's move into business. I just want to be able to teach you some of that, how I operate my art like a business, and I want to teach you to art like a business. And so what I'm giving away is I'm giving away a free one-on-one strategy call in exchange for you filling out a survey. The survey, I'm calling it Art Like a Business, right? And so in this survey, the cool thing about it is your answer is going to be completely private. Nobody else will be able to see what you're saying. It's just for me. It's for my own internal research, so that as I'm building out what I'm going to consider a course and an online academy for independent artists to learn how to set up, organize, and operate their art like a business. Yes. I want to hear from some artists about some things that you're struggling with, what you'd like to see, what tools you need. I got a lot of tools. Even got a lot of templates that I can give you. And of course, just some insight on how to operate art as a business. And so if you head over to shopspeaks.com/apply, you'll fill out the Art Like a Business survey. Let me know where you are. I'll take all of that. I'll put it into the blender before I launch my online academy. So you will have helped me, but also you will have been entered into a chance to win a free one-on-one strategy from me to just really like talk about your business. I know sometimes we want to have people to do that with. You can brain dump, tell me what's going on, how I can help you get organized, and to give you as much insight I have. I actually have this framework that I call Structure My Artistry, right? And I want to help you get structured. So it will be no obligation. It'll be completely free, and it'll just be a time for me and you to be one-on-one. So there you go. That's what I got going on. That's what I'm giving away, a free one-on-one strategy call for anybody that fills out the Art Like a Business survey. Head over to shopspeaks.com/apply and we can get it in. I speaking of getting in, it's time to go ahead and get into this video. Like, this is the longest intro to a recap ever. It's not. Relax. Don't be so dramatic. All right, now, before I get into it, if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you can be abreast about new videos that are going to be coming out like this again throughout the year. From me, I'm planning on doing more of this. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of this video, so you got to watch. Now, let's get into my year in review for 2021. Let's go. Okay, so we are going to start with the best and worst moments in business. So I'm gonna start. Let me go ahead and get my highlight reel out the way. You need to understand what happened. I have to be excited before we get into the worst parts. So the best thing I would say that happened in 2021 is that I was able to post my first job for an assistant. Like, I know that don't sound like a lot, but I am not some huge artist in popularity and all this millions and all this of dollars. But what I am is somebody who is operating my art as a business. I was finally able to have the funds and the personnel department of my budget to hire somebody. I actually am able to hire somebody. And so I've posted a job. I got the interviews going, and I've hired my very first assistant, my first employee. I've had people to work with me before, but they were working as like contractor. I have a team, of course, right? But everybody is contractor. But this will be my very first employee. So it's a very new experience, and I am super duper excited about it. Now, speaking of first, I also signed my very first, come on, wait for it, drum roll, brand ambassador deal. You hear me? Again, I'm not just super duper like, you know, enormously popular, but for whatever reason, I am locked in, focused. My brand stands for something. I'm able to find synergy and common ground with other brands and partners. And the girl is now a brand ambassador. Not only did, and that was my one first. The other first was I was recruited to a college booking agency. Like, and now I am signed to a college booking agency. Somebody get excited. Okay. It's just me. I'm just excited. That just means that I'm gonna have more opportunities to tour, more opportunities to share my art and my music, and also my voice, whether I'm speaking or hosting, whatever. I get to go and reach more people, see more cities, and so forth and so on. Now, in spite of being in the middle of a pandemic, another thing I did that was a first is that I hosted my first fully sponsored event. Okay. It, that don't seem like a lot to you, but when you are independent artists, most of the time when you see an independent artist presenting something, they are coming out of they gotta reach down in their purse to pay for it. And sometimes you don't. Okay, but anyway, you got to dig down in your purse. You got to pay for the stuff. But this time, I didn't have to do that. I was fortunate enough to have partners. Two of the partners I'll mention who I want to give a special shout out to was a partner called Big Thought. It's a nonprofit organization here in Dallas, Texas. And then Beyond Meat, the food company, with the vegan plant-based meats and stuff like that. Because I am a like veganish, vegetarian, pescatarian, I try to eat pretty healthy, and I try to promote healthy cuisines through my Free Lunch Friday series, which I'm gonna talk to you about that here in just a second, because I gotta talk about all the songs that I released, how many EPs I dropped, because again, I didn't drop my Spotify rap, and you need to know what's going on. But I try to promote healthy fare, and as I promote, I don't say I promote healthy fare and cuisine through my Free Lunch Friday series. Beyond Meat was able to see it. We were able to partner, and we gave out. Anyway, it was crazy. They pulled up to the event. They catered the food. Everybody in the VIP was able to eat like freshly cooked Beyond Meat food straight off of Beyond Meat truck. It was crazy. I'm just saying those were first. All right, first brand ambassador deal. First time signing to a college booking agency. First time hosting my first fully funded sponsored event. Now let's get into some of the artistic stuff that happened. I've written at least in 2021, I wrote at least 10 or more custom writings. And when I say custom writings, I mean these are not songs that I'm going to put out for my own original content. These are people who sought me out as a writer to either write a song for them, write a jingle, write or script some type of voiceover, take their voiceover and turn it into something poetic, or I've written a custom, like I was able to do like a lot of custom pieces for people, and I really enjoy that, especially when I'm doing it for nonprofit organizations, because it gives me the opportunity to hear about all the good that's going on in the world, right? And so when I know about the good that's going on in the world, because I'm like having to read what all is happening for them, and I'm like, oh, this is really good, and I have to turn it into words. Boom! It was just saying. it had been prophesied to me before that I would be doing a lot of writing. And so it was pretty cool to have all these people seek me out for custom writing projects. Super cool. Now let's get into the amount of releases. I released more content in 2021 than I ever had before. I released 3 mini EPs. Somebody say 3. Yes, I released 3 mini EPs. They were all called Free Lunch Fridays Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. Now, Free Lunch Fridays Volume 1 was dropped to an exclusive group of people who I'm going to shout out here in just a second. Gotta talk about them. But Free Lunch Fridays Volume 2 and 3 are available online everywhere music is sold digitally. So go check those out if you have not already. And if you have already, just go run them again. Because again, I need my Spotify rap numbers to be right. So again, I dropped 3 EPs, which means that was 8 songs, 8 singles that I put out. And then I dropped 2 official music videos slash singles, right? So these were real singles. It was the King remix featuring D1. And then I also did a song, a remake, and a reenactment video for a song called Wake Up, and it was featuring Miss Melody Nicole, right? And so she is an amazing single, phenomenal voice, an artist in her own right, as well as a background vocalist for the Kirk Franklin and so many more, so many other things that she does. She's amazing. And so she and I put the song out. It was super cool. Again, it's called Wake Up. Go look it up if you have not. I promise you, you will enjoy it. And I'll also release 1 official spoken word video. It was about women's suffrage and about using your voice, your vote as your voice, and how women really couldn't vote until about 100 years ago. Yeah, we're just now celebrating the 100 or 101st year since the women had the right women had the right to vote. And so I actually wrote a spoken word piece about that, and kind of like I kind of chronologically went through the history and how that came about. And so shout out to all the sisters from back 100 years ago who was fighting so that you and I could have a voice in the current affairs that happen in our world. And then the last thing I put out, I won't say I didn't put it out lastly, I put it out kind of in the middle of the year, and that was a 1 hour documentary special, and I dropped it exclusively on YouTube. So go check that out. I think right now we're at like 13,000, 14,000 views. I would love to have your insight in it. I know you're going to enjoy it because it's a documentary that's all about the making of a project that I have called Dear Everybody, the live band mixtape. So now, I told you I was going to tell you where the Free Lunch Friday video was put out, right? And I am going to tell you that now. Another thing that I did in 2021, which was really cool, is I launched my very first and probably will be the only, because I don't need to have more than one Patreon community because I enjoy my patrons so much. If you are unfamiliar with Patreon community, it's a place where creatives are able to share more content with a group of people who are willing to support that creator because, like, hey, I like your films, and so I'm willing to, pledge $5 or $10 or $25 a month in order to help you keep it going so we can kind of keep getting this content. And so I was hesitant. I've known about it for a couple of years, but I was hesitant to drop my own channel because I was like, who gonna give me, who gonna pledge some money to me? I don't know. You just kind of don't feel like, what am I offering? What am I doing? And at this, I launched it not very long ago, and I quickly attained, like, I think I got 20 plus patrons. And so that means the community has more space to grow. Now I'm talking to you. Make eye contact. Yes, I need you to head over to my Patreon community. I really do. I need you to head over to Patreon, and here is the information about how you can subscribe or pledge or join the community. It's not just you just giving some type of monetary exchange, but it's also I give you a ton of benefits. A lot of, like, if I drop a video, my Patreon community sees it first. We hang out on Zoom together 1 time per month. We're going to actually move it to 2 times per month in 2021, because one is just to hang out. Let's just talk. Let's go talk about what's going on, what's on their heart. They give me feedback. I give them feedback, but about just things in general. But the other call is going to be specifically for creative entrepreneurs who need help with the business side of things, right? And I'm going to be just sharing all types of tips and tools there. So if you're either an avid supporter of Shy Speaks, or you're a creative entrepreneur, where I'm a creative, I'm trying to be an entrepreneur, head over to the Patreon community, get signed up, because I will be giving you exclusive content about tips, tools, and all that kind of stuff that you can use to better businessify your creativity. All right, so head over to Patreon. But I was so excited about launching my first Patreon community. I've known about it for so long, and yeah, it was crazy to finally be able to put it out. And the thing that I did is I took an incentive for joining the Patreon community, is that you get Free Lunch Fridays Volume 1 exclusively in my Patreon community. Now, again, Volume 2 and 3 are online everywhere, but Volume 1 is only available to people who are patrons of what I do artistically and what I do as a content creator, the voice, what I stand for, the movements that we're creating together. That is exclusively for the Patreon people. You can hop in for $5, $10, or $25. And yeah, it's cool. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I want some more of it. And I want some more of you guys to hop in there. Now, I talked about being able to hire my first employee, and I talked about having this Patreon community. So the team and the squad is strong, but I got to move into one of the worst aspects of what happened, because it sounded like it was just all good in 2021, and it wasn't. One of the things that I actually struggle with is that I had to rebuild my band, right? And so my band, I got drums, keys, DJ, so forth, and so I have a lot of people on deck. But I have a lot of people that I've worked with, but I'm trying to build a cohesive, a one group of people that I know we all gel well and we rock well together, killing on vocals, killing on instruments, scratching like crazy as a deep. I just wanted to be super duper cohesive, because I really like making music with live instrumentation, and I feel like I flourish with a live sound. And so I love emceeing and being able to MC a crowd and the band all at once, and it's super cool. But you got to have the right crew, and so it was a struggle. I feel like I just fumbled through. Okay, I got this person. Okay, y'all sound good together. Okay, it's like I'm trying to find my starting five. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your starting five. Who gonna start the game? Who gonna lock in? Now, we can have a lot of other people who can sub in and all that, but we got to have a strong five. And so that was hard for me, because in previous years I've had the most amazing bands, in my opinion. Again, I just told you that I put out a documentary about the making of a live band mixtape, which means I had a live band and we created an entire project together. But now, I just kind of got to find the new pieces, new people, because bandmates, they move on, they go into different things. Some of them have launched their own solo careers. Some of them are on tour and on the road with other people. And so I'm trying to find my crew. So that's where I'm at. So that was, you can tell. See how I feel? Now, let's move on past the business side and move into the personal. I told you I was going to give you how I've grown personally. So one of the best and worst things that happened to me personally. So let's go ahead. Let's start with the best, because the worst is going to have me out right? The best part of 2021 is that I got a new car. Riding with my top down, listening to this Jesus music, that's an old school Lecrae song if you never heard it. But anyway, I got a new car, and it don't have a top down to drop, but I do have a sunroof though. I actually have an Acura ILX. Now, if you know anything about me, I will drive my car till the wheels fall off, because I'm not about that Cardinal life. Until I have enough money to go out and buy me another one, I usually keep that same car and all that kind of stuff. But this time, and sometimes I go for the most modest low range car, because I don't be liking to spend that much money. But this time I actually bought an Acura ILX with the sunroof, with the little digital screens, 2 screens, so forth, so on. And I really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoy it. And so, a little bit of luxury. I'm not into designer and luxury and all that kind of stuff, but a little luxury in my life has created some joy. And what I learned from that is, shy every now and then, you kind of got to treat yourself to the finer things. It could be worth it. And also the discipline of taking the money to be able to buy said finer things. So yeah. Anyway, just really, really enjoying it. I never thought I would enjoy. I'm not a car person, so the fact that I'm actually enjoying my car is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now let's move on to the worst things that happened. I've been trying to delay getting to this part because this part was hard. Okay. In spite of having gone through several rounds of premarital counseling about our love and how to be equipped with proper tools for our love journey, my husband and I, we still had a ton of problems, and I had to undergo a separation. Now, I know you want all the details about that, don't you? I do. I know you do. You want the tea. You're not gonna be able to get it. That story is still being written. So I ask that you pray for me. And I actually might write a book about like separation. I think there's a lot of content out there about what to do before you get married. There's content about like as you're married and all that. But there's not, I don't know if I haven't seen them, a lot of books about what to do while you're separated. I think there's a way to have a healthy separation, and so and I think it can enrich your marriage moving forward if you guys and God allows you to kind of reconcile. And so anyway, you know what I mean. If you want to hear that book, then just pray. You know what I mean. Pray for me. But yeah, that was really hard, and not a lot of people know. This is my first time sharing that information publicly, but it is my story and it is my testimony, and I am yet overcoming right now. Again, I had to keep it moving. The other things that happened to me that was like a downer personally, it was like the worst part of 2022 is that I lost a lot of loved ones. And I know a lot of you can relate to that, like, because the death toll for COVID alone, I think the COVID related deaths are what 800,000 in the United States. And outside of the United States, I mean, like that's just COVID related, but like non-COVID related, I mean, you probably have millions of people who pass. So it is impossible for all of us to not at least know a couple of people who transitioned in 2021. And two people that transitioned that really, really, really greatly affected me is my like close friend, my good brother. I'm like family with a family, and that is Corey Hines. Corey Hines and I went to school together in high school. We just got so much history together. And one of the things that we had in common is that we actually we became faith-based, godly people at a young age. A lot of times people don't wait to do that until they get older and they start realizing, like, okay, there's God. Okay, I do need him on my side. But like we did younger, and a lot of our peers looked like, oh, this is really cool. And Corey was so passionate about his faith. He would share it all the time. But not only just sharing his faith, he always shared comedy and laughter. He would dance, he would Dougie, he would do all kind of cool stuff like that people enjoy. He gave so much away. He accepted the call to become a pastor. He loved so well. Everybody know he loved his wife, his kids. Like he loved so well that there's a hashtag called #love like Corey. If you want to see some of the sweetest, coolest, funniest stuff, go to the hashtag and just see what I'm talking about. But that really, really, really hurt. I was shook for days. Like, what? It still don't feel real to me. Like it honestly just doesn't feel real. It's like kind of like it's just not real. Like it's just not real. Um, and maybe that's something I need to work through, but I don't know. It just don't feel, and maybe his love was so strong that it just rests with us so well, and it rests up on all of his family and all of his friends and all of it. Like maybe that's what it is, but I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. He's younger than I am. And so for him to have transitioned like super duper, like, yeah, I gotta keep talking about it because then I might tear up, and I'm trying to finish this video so y'all can get to these two nuggets that I said I wanted to share. Another loss that we had, or what I would say is another good friend of mine, like who's like a big bro. This is the big homie right here. His name was Bishop Omar Jawar. His name was Omar Jawar. He was like a spiritual advisor to the likes of Nipsey Hussle. I don't know, like he was a broker. Like he was like a general in the faith, but like a boss in the streets type of thing. and like he was able to bridge the gap and like do violence reconciliation between gangs. He was be able to go into prisons and defuse violence in schools and so forth and so on. And then not only that, in his the latter parts of his life, he had launched a thing called Heal America. And he take these conversations and musical experiences on the road for a tour, going from different cities, trying to have conversations that spark change so that we can actually heal America. And he took me on tour with him, so I was able to tour a couple of those locations, and then after that, not long after that, he transitioned. And it's crazy because that don't feel real either. Like, it's wild. It just don't feel right, rather. But he's such a huge general. He and I had some conversations recently. We had some plans for the future that we hope to do together. Um, all for the people, though, all for the community. How can we help the community? And one of the things that he saw in me is that I was an artist that he liked, that he felt like I was already transfigured and transformed. Like, I'm from the hood, like I'm from the streets, okay? I just don't carry myself like that, and it's because for whatever reason I've been transformed from the negative aspects that come from inner city streets and all that kind of stuff. And so, like, he's like, man, you're a great example of what it looks like to like come from this context but be a survivor. And so he was going to start helping me be presented to the world, because he feels like it's more of what the world needs to see. And so, yeah, my heart goes out to his family. And he had a cool, really thriving nonprofit organization that I'm currently still connected with and gonna stay connected with. It's called Urban Specialist. I think I'm an urban specialist. I mean, he said I was an OG, and so I'm staying connected because we got to continue to keep his legacy going, keep the work going. But that hurt. I had aunties that passed. I had really close friends of the family. A guy named Fred that I knew well. It was just a lot of people, and yeah, it was tough. That was crazy. Now, all of that was not what we expected. I know it wasn't. It's not what any of us expected, but we pressed through, right, in spite of. Speaking of stuff that was unexpected, let me get on back to like this review before I bring this thing to a close. One of the things that I would say went as expected last year was the Civilized Drive-In Concert and Conversation. While it was like, the reason why I say it went as expected is because, like, okay, here's the thing. I said that I had my first fully sponsored event, right? Which was great. So how are you saying that went as expected if that was like, because we technically actually inked and like secured the deals for it at the end of 2020? Go figure, right? Like, how are you securing contracts and sponsorship deals right in the middle of a pandemic? I don't know. Had to be God, but in spite of that, you know what I mean? We still were able to secure it. Now, one thing that didn't go as expected, again, this is the backside of my business. We hope to have 100 to 200 cars out in the parking lot, because, again, this was a drive-in, like a drive-in movie with the screens, but this was a drive-in concert and conversation. And so we really hope to have 100 to 200 cars, but instead we only wind up having about 80 cars. But again, this is in the middle of a pandemic. People were still feeling skeptical about going out, even though they were going to be in the comforts of their own car. But now that we've done it and we have proof of concept, I think we can explain it to people better. And the cool thing is, which is one of the things that came as a surprise, I'm excited again. I'm excited because in spite of being underattended, in spite of it still being an ongoing pandemic, we already have a sponsor that committed this year they committed in the year, like right after the event, to be a sponsor for the event to happen again next year. They want to turn it into an annual event that's not just a concert and conversation, but more of a full-on community festival. Again, who am I? I am not this wildly popular artist. Other artists in Dallas are a little bit more popular than me, but for some reason, somebody somewhere is thinking enough of me to put sponsorship money behind an event that we're trying to do for the community. Again, it's called the Civilized Drive-In Concert and Conversation, and it's now going to be the Civilized Community Fest. Come on, let's go. Okay. It's only crazy until it happens, as Michael Todd, the preacher says, right? And so they've secured. We want to turn this into an annual event. So I'm super excited. So in 2020, we are going to be having a community festival. If you are in the Dallas Fort Worth or surrounding areas, I really want you to be there. It's gonna be even better than it was last year and bigger. It moved from a concert to a festival. So okay, let me keep it moving. I'm almost bringing this thing to a close now. What was I talking? Oh, things that surprised me. Okay, so another thing that surprised me. Okay, here we go. I booked my very first corporate gig. That not my first corporate gig, because I've done corporate gigs. Shout out to Capital One, shout out to Microsoft, I've done like corporate gigs before, but this was my first corporate gig where I was paid nearly 5 figures. Like, what? And it was because they sought me out as both an artist and a creative director. And that was really cool. Speaking of creative director, one more thing happened that came to me as a surprise. I was asked and invited by my senior pastor at my local church to be the director of the young adult ministry, and I get to be the creative director. Like, that's crazy. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I had a lot going on, other things, and God still saw fit to choose me. That's a side note, but like, I was super busy with my business life. I was navigating difficulties in my personal life, okay? Very serious difficulties. And God still saw fit to call me and to choose me to be a leader. Again, like I said, God does not have to choose to use you. So I count that as an honor. And when I was asked, I was like, kind of like the girls you see on social media when they get proposed to, hashtag, she said yes. So this year you will see me operating in a little bit more of a ministry capacity to my generation through a nonprofit, and I'm sorry, through a young adult ministry called Chosen. It's gonna be good too. So yeah, I get to be, and kind of, just like this whole idea of being able to be a creative director, brand ambassador, continuing my artistry, and also pushing further into my entrepreneurship ideas with starting an online academy. Like, I just, and despite what was going on, or in spite of what was going on, I kept going, which leads me to the nugget that I said that I wanted to share. In spite of, that's actually the nugget, right? That's the word that I want you to take with you into 2022, because in 2021 I had to keep moving in spite of. A lot of us did. And so we hope for 2022 to just give us all the things that we want. We hope to not have the trial, but just in case, I just need you to tuck that inside. In spite of, I am still going to go forward. I'm still going to push into my purpose, because there are people on the other side of my purpose who are going to benefit from me operating that way. And it's all about people. It's all about loving people, right? And so, man, listen, come on, in spite of. Yeah, just go ahead and say it. Say it. 1, 2, 3. In spite of, right? That's what you want to take. That was something that I knew about. It was reinforced to me in 2021, and I'm taking and I'm tucking it in 2022. I hope that it brings me all good tidings, peace on the earth, and goodwill to all men. But just in case something comes along that you do not expect, you have to have an in spite of fuel inside of you. Be fueled up with in spite of, right? And then the last nugget that I wanted to have you with before we end this video is to invest in yourself. I would have never had the confidence nor clarity to launch an online academy, right? Haven't launched it yet, still doing the research, still hope that some of you guys would, of course, hop on to that free strategy call that I was talking about, where I was saying that you sign up, you do the survey, I get to hear some feedback of what are some of the things that you want and need help with as relates to the business side of things. I think that I can help there. And I'm gonna take all that information, but I also have a framework that I've already been operating from and living by and has been working for me. And I wouldn't have saw it as, oh man, that's something that you could help teach people. But I invested in myself, right? I invested in some type of online course myself. And this person helped me realize this is what you're passionate at. This is your skill set. There are people out there who don't have that. They would love to know some of the tips, tools, tricks, systems, and all that kind of stuff that you have. And you would help add structure to them. Things are changing out here in the music landscape. Everybody know that the whole like major label situation needs to change. It has to go through some changes because it's not going well. And a lot of people are opting to stay independent. The only part is they don't know how to operate independent. That's the reason why they want to get signed to a label, because at a label, right, the label has a business office, the back end. They're gonna businessify the art for you. But if you're not going the label route, you can businessify your own art. You just need to know what to do. And so I'm going to help people do that. I would have never had the confidence to do that had I not invested in myself. And also another thing that I'm going to be doing in 2022, I'm going to be releasing more content just like this. Like this is like a camera that I invested in so that I can have high quality videos. This is a nice audio system that I've invested in so that I can have high quality audio so that you can have the best experience when you're hearing from my. And then not only just the equipment, I invested in an online course to learn how to properly do certain things so I can know how to keep a video going without looking awkward. For example, I can tell you right now, again, if you have not already, I need you to like this video. If you have liked the video, I need you to subscribe. If you have subscribed, I need you to join my Patreon community over at patreon.com/shy speaks. Again, how am I doing that? Just dropping these nuggets. Like I would have never had the confidence to do that had I not invested in an online course. So I'm just saying, invest in yourself. And it may not be an online course. Like I said, it may be some equipment that you'll need for your creative business or whatever it is that you're doing. So invest in yourself, bet the bag on you, and then put the work in to see it through. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm telling you, if you're trying to do something, there's probably already somebody out there who's done it, who's blazed the trail. And sometimes you may be the trailblazer, but there's somebody who's done something similar to you. Go seek out their mentorship. If you can't have their mentorship in a free capacity, maybe they have an online capacity, sign up, invest in yourself. I'm telling you, it will be worth it. It will definitely be worth it. Now, in 2022, again, I plan to release more videos. And what type of videos are going to be releasing, Sean? Anything that happens at the intersection of art, business, and culture. Because I am on a mission to reinfuse positivity and spirituality into urban culture through the arts and the power of my voice, and to help 10,000 independent artists learn how to set up, organize, and operate their art as a business, right? So I'm gonna have to talk about the art and business intersection, but I want to talk about things that happen in the culture because I think the culture could benefit from having a more positive perspective out there, right? And a more spiritual perspective as well. So anyway, I'm going to be doing that. I hope that I have your support. Again, if best ways to support, like a video. It helps feed the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel so I'm not having to chase you down and help you know. I just dropped a video, and if you really, really, really want to support me, I would really love to have your pledge. And in exchange, I'll give you a lot of benefits, not just the live hangouts that I talked about before and the seeing stuff first, but like when I do giveaways and I do raffles, anybody that's in my Patreon community is entered in doubly, so you have a higher chance of winning whatever it is that we're giving away. And I plan on giving away some good stuff this year. And again, we are gonna still be giving away free lunch Friday. Free lunch is good too now. I'm sending you money directly. Come on, can't beat that. Listen, I'm going to keep doing this in spite of. Now, my question to you is, what are you going to do in spite of? What are your plans for 2022 in spite of? Drop me some comments below. I would love, love, love to hear from you. Until next time, though, peace out.